Wait.
This is a hose head
Production.
Hi, Tom.
What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, Captain?
Happen, capping, napping, wing, ding, ring.
Yap schmap. See, you still got it.
If we say we'll come, will you shut your ass up?
Welcome back to the podcast.
Hey, Jose. Yeah. Listen to this was coming. You know what it is? What? It's Strange Brew
Podcast.
I like that. That's good.
All right, welcome to the podcast. I am your host. Good day, eh? I am your host.
Oh,
Tom
good
Kennedy,
day,
aka Tom Thompson. I got some coffee with some liqueur in it. It is an early morning start to record. Early morning quotations, but yes.
Yeah, I got a cup full of straight vodka.
Yep. That's my go-to drink. What are you talking about?
Straight vodka, nothing else in it. But you know what's crazy is this vodka tastes exactly like water.
Does it?
Yeah.
You're drinking out of coffee mug, so you're fucking everybody up.
I know, man. Just fucking old razzle dazzle. Nobody knows where I'm going with it.
So welcome back to the show. We're diving back into some true crime. Anton is very excited about all the dead babies in this fucking shit.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to cover, everybody. It's just, it's so uplifting, and it's like a strong cup of coffee to start your day. You're just like, wow, man, I feel good. I'm ready to go, and I'm in no way morbidly depressed from the research that I've had to do.
Okay, think about it. What's better, right? Someone getting murdered that has lived a long life, right? Or just some baby that's only been around for a couple years, couple months. You know, what's better on the scales of life?
The person who lived the life already.
What?
The person who has lived the life already.
I guess you're right.
Because that is untapped potential. That kid could have been anything. What if that kid cured cancer? God, I'm using the anti-abortion speech, but I'm not anti-abortion, so.
Yeah, it's true. Yes, I agree. Dead
woman's body's their own fucking business.
This is all sorts of crazy shit going on this episode. So it's gonna get a little dark. It's gonna get a little disturbing, but that is just part of what we do. It's not always gonna be, sunshine and fucking Ramirez creeping through windows. It's gonna be babies getting murdered and thrown into a burlap sack and beat against a tree, or you got like them found. You find a baby in a barrel. I'm gonna, instead of monkeys in a barrel, I'm gonna make a new one called babies in a barrel, and you got to hook them by their umbilical cords.
That would probably sell. That's actually a profitable idea.
All right, so it is estimated that there are over 200,000 unsolved murders in the United States alone, with some dating back as far as the 1960s. And even if a killer is eventually discovered by the police, some of these cold cases remain a mystery, as lack of evidence and even death can halt a conviction.
Yep.
Because, once you're dead, it doesn't really matter.
Can you be convicted posthumously?
What, like after death?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can. They can be blamed for something.
You can be pardoned posthumously, so yeah, I would imagine that you can be convicted.
That's so stupid, too. This guy's dead already. Yeah. It's dumb, just on record so they can show that this guy was innocent, but yet you fucking killed him on the frying chair or like stuck a syringe in his fucking neck to kill him.
Why I'm anti-death penalty? It's because it's too many fucking innocent people get killed. It's not I get the whole argument that the pro-death penalty people make, but it's like if even 1% of people are innocent on death row, it's a fucking crime and it needs to stop.
And it's still disproportionalized when it comes to
minorities,
Americans.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
The mystery of the Allenstown Four, also known as the Bear Brook murders, first unraveled in 1985 when two bodies were found hidden in a metal drum in New Hampshire Park. Of course, the investigation, police narrowed down the possible suspects in the murders, and to a man that his name was Bob Evans. Bob Evans
down on the farm. Don't sue us, please.
So Bob Evans is a restaurant?
So Bob Evans is a restaurant, as well as like they make breakfast sandwiches and shit like that you can get in the frozen groceries. It's not great. It's like a shittier Cracker Barrel almost.
Who is Bob Evans?
I don't
Do you know him personally?
Yes, I know him personally. I've actually shoved my entire fist up his ass.
I thought you were into fisting.
You knew it. You knew it the whole time.
This guy name was Bob Evans. That's what they narrowed it down to. A drifter who likely lived in dozens of states under dozens of names. And we will get into that a little later on.
Oh, there's no likely. He absolutely did. That's some of the things that we do know for sure about this case is that Bob Evans went by, I think, like 15 other aliases at any given point in time.
Yes.
Has been involved in miscellaneous crimes since the 70s. And it's just an all-around grade A pile of fucking human waste.
Yeah, this guy is a piece of shit. And we'll just, this is what this motherfucker looks like.
Okay, so here's my thing with that. You know who Liev Schreiber is, right?
Sounds familiar.
He played Sabretooth in the shittier X-Men movies.
The shittier ones.
Yes.
Not the one from the original X-Men movie.
Not X-Men 2000.
That was fucking, wasn't that fucking that wrestler? From the X-Men, the first one?
I don't know. Did you see Goon, the movie Goon with Sean William Scott?
Yes, I love that
Okay.
movie.
Remember the I will lay you the fuck out. The old dude that was retiring.
Yeah, I think so.
That's Liev Schreiber. So bring that dude's face back up. Dude, Liev Schreiber could fucking play this dude in a movie. I'm gonna bring it up and share it with you really quick.
Okay, I can see it. But also, wasn't fucking Triple H was the one?
No, Triple H was not the first Sabretooth.
He was not?
No.
What about the one in the X-Men the movie? Like
No, that was Liev Schreiber. There was no X-Men in 1999. There was only X-Men 2000.
And that wasn't Triple H.
No.
Are you fucking sure?
I'm fucking positive that was not Triple H.
I don't believe you.
Well, then do some research, bitch.
Pull up a picture of him then, man.
I'm pulling up a picture of Liev Schreiber right now.
Do it.
I am.
We're all waiting on you. The one person watching the stream Twitch is waiting on you.
Oh, no, that's not the right one. There you go.
I love editing the audio.
There you go.
Oh, that's Ray Donovan.
That's okay. I don't watch Ray Donovan, but yes, that's the guy that plays Ray Donovan. That's Liev Schreiber.
Oh, I like him. You should have said the guy from Scream. Cotton from Scream would have made more sense to me.
Oh, he is in Scream. I forgot.
He's Cotton Weary, motherfucker.
Dude, I forgot.
I swear,
You ever forget happened to me?
Did he not play Wolverine, or am I retarded?
No, Triple H did not play Wolverine. And you're bitching at me about editing the fucking audio.
Not Wolverine. Why can't
No, Triple H did not play fucking Sabretooth.
I said Wolverine. I'm like, that's not correct. Are you sure?
Positive. I'm pulling it up right now.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Tyler Mane.
Oh man, maybe I used to, one of those like old magazines where like before Marvel movies became popular, before they came out with all the things that we know today, and they'd have those magazines where it's just like this person could play this Marvel character. I feel like Triple H was always shown as that he could play Sabretooth. You remember those magazines?
Yes, of course I do. Of course I do. Yeah. Tyler Mane was in Joe Dirt. He played Michael Myers.
What?
In Halloween 2. I think it was both of the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, but it may have just, it was just Halloween 2.
Trash.
No. It was it both of them? Yeah, it was both of them. Yeah, both garbage piles of shit.
Yes.
All right, but anyways, back to Bob Evans.
All right, let's go back to Bob Evans. That was a stupid riff about X-Men. I don't know, but yes. So I guess I could see it. I guess
mainly in this picture that we're showing on the
not this one,
not that one.
All right, so he was a drifter. Went by many names, and the suspect killer was ultimately brought to justice for other horrendous crimes and died in prison in 2010. In 2017, it was confirmed through genealogy. Where is it?
Cringe.
Cringy ass bitch. Cringy ass bitch.
All right, so yes, through genealogy matches that his real name was Terry Rasmussen.
Terry Rasmussen.
And it's funny, he went by so many names. At first, like a lot of the people thought it was Curtis Kimball or whatever.
Curtis Kimball, Bob Evans.
Yes.
What does the one cop call him? Like he can't pronounce his last name, and it's like
Yeah.
Hotch's Kitchen Project.
Sounds like me. But one of the cops like butchers his one name. But it's just the time error too, that you could literally get away with being drifter, going from place to place, given a new name. If you didn't really have to give identity and stuff like that, you could get away with it. So, and that he was indeed the Allenstown killer. So in 2009, 3 of the 4 bodies were identified. However, the 4th victim's remains are unknown.
Yep.
So this story is of the Allenstown Four. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what the big reveal button was used for in that instance, but okay.
This is the story of the Allenstown Four.
I love that in all of the articles, they're like, he may have been a serial killer, just simply because they have to put maybe, but I'd be willing to bet that this motherfucker meets the criteria.
Yes, he definitely does. So in 1985, a hunter came across a steel drum containing the bodies of women. But before we get into this, there was boys playing in the park, and they found the barrel, and they just didn't look inside of the barrel. But
no, they did. So the one documentary that I watched, I think it was the ABC 2021 or whatever. The kids came over there, they found it, they opened the lid and like got hit with, the smell of decomposition and were disgusted by it. And then they pushed the barrel over and so they said some white liquid came running out. And the one guy had said, he's like, at the time, I just thought it was a barrel of spoiled milk. Then they got on their 4-wheelers and they rode away. And it's like, that's not what spoiled milk smells like, bud.
No, very stinky, very stinky. That would have been pretty gross. Yeah, they take off the lid and they didn't peer inside because it just smelled like, fuck this. They're just kids fucking around, have a little fun in the forest, That's what kids do.
Who doesn't love playing around in the forest? There's playing in the forest is nothing nefarious unless you're like seen going into the forest with people and then you're the only one coming out.
Or if you get walked into a forest by an old man and he has you at gunpoint, then there's all sorts of fun things will happen in that point.
Or if you're camping and you wake up and there's all these mysterious stick creatures just tied up on the trees around you, and for some reason you're stuck in a time loop and there's this crazy stretched out bitch chasing you through the forest.
Have you played it yet?
No, I need to get it.
It's fucking fun, man. It's fun. It is the fun game, the Blair Witch. All right, so a hunter, after the boys, discovered the disgusting smell, in 1985, a hunter came across a steel drum containing the bodies of a woman between the ages of 23 and 33. Big gap.
Well, because the bodies were so badly decomposed that they said that the best they could do was narrow it down to a 10-year period.
That's true. They have to, and a girl between the ages of 5 and 11. Mm-hmm. I think that's easier to tell because a 5-year-old is a lot smaller than an 11-year-old.
For sure.
I don't understand their analogy or how they came to that conclusion. But
that's why it's so vague, though. I mean, it's just you're using whatever forensics that you can get off of these 10 plus years sitting in a metal drum, cooking in the summertime, freezing in the wintertime, decomposed bodies.
That's true.
I do not envy those analysts at the time. I really don't.
No. That's what you got. Didn't they put stuff on their nose?
That's what Silence of the Lambs taught us. Yeah.
They put stuff in. They shove those things in their nose. It smells like pneumonia or something, so you don't have to smell it. I don't know.
It wouldn't smell like ammonia, you fucking goober. You'd pass out. It smells like mentholatum.
Yes.
Like Vicks.
Oh, ew, yeah. I just want bubble gum. You know what? You're taking apart a body. Just shove like 2 pieces of bubble gum half chewed in your nose, and you'll be good.
Then put your headphones on, and it's only playing sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, and then you become a serial killer. That's how that works.
It's true. The hunter has been stalking deer on the property adjacent to the New Hampshire Bear Brook State Park. Near the property is a trailer park, but police couldn't locate anyone who could provide any information about the barrels. Then in 2000, a New Hampshire State Police trooper followed up the investigation and found another barrel, and this was about 15 years later.
Yeah, they said that they only found the 2 bodies first, and then somehow, because the barrel was just outside of the realm of investigation, that it just they were like, what if we go 20 more feet that way? Nah, fuck it.
Weird. And there was another barrel extremely close, and it was like so strange. So And he followed up the investigation about another fucking barrel, and it was containing 2 bodies of 2 more girls, and it ages between 1 and 3. So they were babies. This is very sad stuff. And others between the ages of 2 and 4. So very young, very sad. But you know what? At least it's not as recent as Chris Watts, because that was a very sad episode. And somebody commented, was like, someone left a review, and they were like, love the Chris Watts episode. We want a part 2. And I was like, I don't want to talk about that ever again.
Yeah, dude, fuck that. It's like, oh, we want Chris Watts and Chris Benoit. It's like, aha!
I know. I do want to do Chris
all
Benoit.
set on talking about family annihilators. I mean, if we have to do it, we have to do it, but
I want to do Chris Benoit just because how fucked up it is. The way
Chris
he
Watts
killed
is
himself.
worse.
Oh, it's so fucked. But we'll get into some. That's what I'm saying. On this, we like to have fun, and we like to joke about the dark sides of life, but it will get to a point where we're doing some episodes that are very disturbing and very fucked up, and we will try our best to hold in our lunches and not to make fun of the victims.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll be doing our best to, put a little bit of brevity in the situation and make it a little more light and easy to digest, but we're going to do everything that we can to not mock the victims at all, because they're obviously the victims in this case.
Yes. The only time you can mock a victim if their name is Peter Pan and they're Asian. The Asian part doesn't matter. It just makes more sense that his name was Peter Pan. You don't agree? Man, that guy
you can make fun of the name, but I mean, you can't be like, his body was found with his butt put on his head.
Peter Pan, he died wearing tight green fucking spandex shorts and a frilly little fucking leaf garment. And he had a sword. I don't know. The fact that Richard Ramirez killed someone named Peter Pan, it always makes me laugh. I don't know if that's bad or if that's insensitive, but it's fucking weird, man. What if somebody
he knew? Do you think he knew his name was Peter Pan?
He specifically sought out Peter Pan. I'll be the Captain Hook to his Peter Pan.
He killed him showing up wearing a hook for a hand. Like, Peter, this is our battle.
The decomposed state of the bodies were found within 2 55-gallon drums that caused no problems. That had what? The decomposed state of the bodies that were found within the 2 55-gallon drums has caused problems for the investigator. Though the remains of the first 2 victims were discovered in 1985, with the second 2 victims found in a similar metal drum in 2000, the exact year they died is unknown.
Have you ever come across metal drums while you were walking in the woods or playing out and like going on hikes and shit?
Yeah, I literally did. When I went out with Chelsea, did you see that video? I spliced it together. I was like, ooh, spooky woods.
I saw the car, and I was just like, wow, this is great.
The Illuminati car at the top of a hill. It's got like fucking spray paint all over it. Old, rotten out car. But as I was walking across those beams over this little river, like creek really it was, there was a creepy little barrel right next to me. So who knows? Especially in Burford.
It's never going to be something good. I feel like you're going to open the barrel and one of 3 things is going to happen. It's going to be toxic waste and you're going to die. It's going to be bodies. And it's going to be really bad, or it's going to be the Tar Man from Return of the Living Dead, and then we're all going to die.
Yeah, I was going to say the Toxic Avenger just pops his ass out. Also, a movie we need to do. We need to do a commentary on that movie.
No, we need to do a commentary on Citizen Toxic Avenger 4.
Well, I've only seen the first one. I'm pretty sure.
I have Trauma now. I have the Trauma subscription. You can use my login.
We gotta no, I think we should save that to go on blind for a commentary. Just shouting out the Patreon, everybody. If you're a fan of us, that's how you support us. It's only $3 a month. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up. Like, it's gonna be a lot of fun for the fans to hear what we have on the Patreon, because we're going outside of our realm of just doing, true crime, paranormal, conspiracy. It'll still be on there. There'll be a lot of bonus episodes and bonus content, but we're doing stuff where we're gonna talk about movies and do commentary on horror movies. So get over there. Subscribe.
www.patreon.com/strangebrew.
Yes, motherfuckers. So obviously the initial discovery of the bodies disturbed the community of Allenstown, but finding the bodies was only the beginning. Once investigators recovered the bodies, they began the process of trying to identify the cause of death, which must have been horrible.
Yeah, I mean, most of the cause of death for actually all of the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. So I would guess
Even
that's
for
probably
babies?
all of them.
Wow.
He had an MO and he stuck to it, man. I mean, like most serial killers do. Most of them don't, deviate.
Do
I
you
would
think
also
he,
assume that's probably easier than strangulation, isn't it?
I guess, but do you think he like took the babies by their feet and this like hit them on a fucking table like they're like chickens?
I really hope not.
Yeah, neither do I. Sorry, everybody.
Is that how you would do it, Tom?
I just think it would just be easier, just like, one of those dads that just can't take the crying of their child anymore, so they drown him in a bathtub or beat them.
That's a thing that moms do, you fucking goober.
Dads do it too.
No, dads are dumb and they shake their baby.
Yes, that guy. There is that case. I learned that in law class. That guy that just like shut up and like shook his baby and it died.
Yeah. The only instance of people being drowned in the tub I've ever come across were mothers doing it.
Yeah. Think about the Changeling. Is that not what she does in the movie? She like drowns the kid.
I think that was the dad that did it in the movie.
That should also be a commentary one.
I love that movie.
Dark and fucked up that movie is. It would be good to just have a couple beers, get really stoned, and just riff.
Are we talking the George C. Scott old one, or are we talking the Angelina Jolie?
Fuck the Angelina Jolie one.
Okay, I would say I've never even seen that one. I don't care.
No, me neither. Fuck that bitch. All right, so
fuck Angelina Jolie, fuck Amber Heard, fuck all these toxic ass bitches.
Yes, 100%. Justice for Johnny.
Let's talk about toxic femininity here for a moment, shall we?
Yes, justice for Johnny. He looks completely disturbed. And,
but Johnny's been living a hard fucking life his whole life, though, dude. Yeah. Let's not pretend that Johnny is not a hard drinking, hard drugging son of a bitch.
And a victim of MK Ultra. When he's spazzing out on the fucking street and twitching and having all sorts of things happen to him, he's probably just disconnecting from that brainwashing techniques that were used on him to eat his own shit.
That's Tom's theory. My theory is he spent way too much fucking time with Hunter S. Thompson.
That could be it. That could have fucked him up too, which eventually I'm very excited, but that's going to be a huge case. Also, we're going to get into because I love Hunter S. Thompson, but yes, there is theories that he was doing some.
That's the fucking third tattoo that I got. We are not disparaging the name of Hunter S. Thompson. I'm sorry,
but
I don't believe in those. I don't believe in those stupid ass fucking Illuminati sex party fucking theories that he like.
Can we at least mention it?
Films? Of course we can mention it, but I'm gonna fight you on it every step of the way.
All right, he fucked kids. Hunter
allegedly.
Well, Hunter in 1985, not Hunter S. Thompson, but when a Hunter in 1985,
fuck the Pope, no fault of mine.
Yeah, when he was the first person to report these bodies to police, it was actually a group of children, like we said, from a nearby trailer park who first found the barrel. These kids were playing in the park. They rolled the barrel about 100 yards from where they first found it. I don't know what they were doing, why they were
kids. They're just pushing a barrel around because they're fucking around. They're bored. You know what I think, though? It was 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
It was Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles.
Yeah, I know it's true because this does connect to Canada because they start looking just adjacent to the Canadian border and stuff like that too. So when they opened it, they left it where it was. The second barrel wasn't found until 15 years later, which is pretty crazy. Police reported it. It was likely outside the perimeter of the original crime scene, which explained why it took so long to be found. I don't understand that.
It's just such a lazy cop answer. It's like, well, you see, we would have had to have walked for an extra 20 minutes to check that area of and it was lunchtime. And I mean, I'm not the union leader. I don't make the rules, but lunchtime is lunchtime. Do you feel me?
What do we know about cops?
They suck.
They suck. They're lazy. They could care less. They don't communicate with each other when it comes to crime scene investigations.
Is the official stance of this podcast fuck 12?
What is fuck 12? Fuck 12-year-old girls? I don't want to do that. That's disgusting.
I keep forgetting you're fucking goddamn Canadian because we're so close.
That's disgusting.
We're so close. How do you not know what fuck 12 means?
It sounds really bad. What does it mean? Fuck the 12 precincts?
It just means fuck the police because like 12 used to be an old code for narcotics units.
We say fuck the 5-0, bro.
Yeah, fuck 12 is this thing that came out during the BLM shit. That's when it became much more known, which was like fuck 12, ACAB, that shit.
Or Necro song, ACAB, all cops are bastards.
Yeah, ACAB. You know what my favorite version of ACAB is?
What?
Animals cannot acquire Bitcoin.
Oh my god. That's retarded.
Cringe.
Cringe. All right, so obviously this was pretty disturbing.
Back
And
to the barrel full of spoiled milk.
yes, so new evidence surrounding the identities of the 4 victims have come to light in recent years thanks to technology advancements in forensics. Authorities were able to take samples from the remaining body tissue and match it with water samples from the area. Too crazy, because this actually helps kind of progress the idea of how forensics can be used to solve murders. This helped just the same way as like Adam Lejeune was one of the first people they really could identify with that they used forensic analysis to identify. Same with like Paul Bernardo. This kind of helped, like, well, we can match this with this, and we can figure out who the victims were, comparative to DNA and all that stuff. It was pretty interesting.
Gotcha.
You got me? So the bodies contain the same chemicals found in the environment around Allenstown, where they were found, leading the authorities to believe that they had been living in the area for at least 3 months before they were murdered. With the investigation stalled and no new leads, investigators continued to update the sketches of the victims using evidence uncovered with the help of the new technology. So this is the Allenstown Four. Very sad. I think they really fucked up the drawing of that chick right there.
You should see the ones that I've got. They're pretty bad.
She looks really cross-eyed. I don't know how they could have told what her eyes look like. Or we got this one, which is really bad.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. The one on the left is like, wow, you guys. These are very clearly digital.
Yes. Did they use? You know, they used. They gave her British teeth, man.
They use the Reface app like you use.
Yes. While the sketches obviously in the past showed only basic features, the new sketches provided far more detail. These new descriptions even showed important details about the victims' teeth and how their hair may have looked. So I guess like this chick's teeth would have looked all sorts of mangled. Like she's somehow British guy. I don't know why that went to like Dutch or something.
I don't know either. Speaking of, where have Dutch been? I haven't seen Dutch in forever.
That's weird.
Agreed.
Is that weird?
Is that weird? From Holland.
The case went cold after the second barrel was discovered in 2000, and it wasn't until 2017 that the authorities announced a major breakthrough. A woman in California who was abandoned by her father in a trailer park in 1985 learned that her mother was Denise Boudrin. Boudrin. I think it's Boudrin. Boudrin.
That works.
Boudrin.
So it's also important to note that it was not her father.
Yeah.
And that she was in fact kidnapped.
Yes, we'll get into that. But you know, I just think, isn't that what all fathers do at trailer parks? They just walk away and go get cigarettes and they just never come back.
That is the stereotype.
It literally is. So Denise Boudrin, who disappeared in New Hampshire in 1981 with her then boyfriend, Bob Evans. This led police to wonder if Evans and Boudrin had disappeared together and Evans abandoned the child. Where was Denise? Okay, everyone wondering, where did Denise go?
Where did she go?
They began to speculate that Bob Evans killed Denise sometime after they left New Hampshire. And when police checked Bob Evans' DNA against their forensic database, they discovered that he was, in fact, the father of one of the girls in the Allenstown Four murders. Very strange.
Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, this guy was a very piece of shit. A very big piece of shit.
Big old piece of shit.
And when the police, so like Bob Evans had already been convicted in a murder of another woman. Yunsun Jin.
Yeah, this one's really fucked up because they were like unofficially married, and then within a year, she's already missing.
What do we know the ethnicity of Yunsun Jin?
We know that she was of Eastern heritage, but I don't know where exactly her
interesting name.
family came from. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, so he was convicted of a murder of Yusin Jin in California in 2000. And when he died, obviously he died in jail in 2010 after moving to California from New Hampshire in 1981. And
Oh, are we
according to
totally just glossing over the fact that they found her mummified remains under a large mound of cat litter?
Did they actually? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
What?
No. So the Yun Jin, we shouldn't just gloss over that. Yunsen Jin had like there's so little information on it, but the way that they found her body is so fucked up.
They found her in a mound of cat litter?
Yep.
Would that mummify the body if you like just put him in a barrel full of cat litter?
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, I would imagine cat litter absorbs moisture, right?
It does because it absorbs the moisture in the poopy. When I clean my cat's poopy box out, it's like
it's usually dry, yeah.
Hard and dry. So I just eat a snack sometimes if I'm bored.
Right. I mean, that's what all people do, right?
Well, that's what Charlie likes to do, our fucking crazy little mascot dog.
Why do dogs eat shit?
I don't understand it. He hasn't. I just think that he has once or twice because he goes in there, he sniffs around. I'm like, oh, what are you doing in here?
Dogs love cat boxes. I don't know what it is, but every dog I've ever known, like that lived with a cat,
it's a crunchy little snack.
That's just good. That texture's real good.
It's fucking. It is weird. So it is crazy. So obviously, like, according to authorities, he went around. That's crazy that she was mummified in cat litter. That's a very strange way to dispose of a body, so to speak. Well, how was she? Where was she found? Like,
she found in their home.
Really?
Yep. When they searched Kimball's home in a crawl space, so she basically got the John Wayne Gacy treatment, but with the added insult of cat litter.
And especially with the new doc coming out on Netflix, it's out now. We will cover John Wayne Gacy. It's gonna be he's very fucked up if you don't know who he is. We're gonna eventually, that's gonna be coming down the pipe one day once we start getting into
there's the whole conspiracy around John Wayne Gacy too, that he was protected and used
like all serial killers, they're all part of the MK Ultra, and to change and shift the consciousness of humanity and to scare everybody, to create fear and pump up anxiety and depression and fear.
It's a theory, but not one that I necessarily subscribe to, but a theory.
We shall see. I don't know. Eileen Warner is convinced that they were using fucking brainwashing techniques on her. Sonic sounds.
Eileen Warnos is a schizophrenic crackhead.
I don't know. Billy thinks she's sexy, as I said. So Billy
thinks Charlize Theron is sexy.
So obviously, like, so he supposedly murdered his girlfriend Denise along the way, and Bob Evans lived as a drifter doing odd jobs. He assumed a new identity and even served time in jail, but was never questioned by the police about any of the alleged murders. Then in 2000,
you serve time in jail under an alias?
Crazy. How do you do that? Did he have fake IDs, do you think? Because it doesn't say he did or not.
Well, if it was 81, I don't think they still didn't have the back.
All you gotta do is write your name on a piece of paper and show. Like, my name is Bob Evans. I was born at this time. Here's the piece of paper.
Probably easier to get forged documents back then.
Yeah. You named yourself McLovin? You're a 40-year-old fucking organ donor? So then in 2002, Bob Evans murdered Yusun Jun, and when authorities were led back to Evans by DNA evidence in 2016, they put all the pieces together that most likely he had been involved, obviously, in the Allenstown Four murders.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, Bob Evans was imprisoned under one of his aliases. When he met his last victim, Yusun Jin, he had been calling himself Larry Vayner. Larry Vayner. So he was this guy, and we'll get into it. Supposedly, we're going to get into it very soon. But the two were unofficially married in 2001. But by May 2002, one of Jin's friends hadn't seen her or heard from her in 4 months and suspected Kimball had done something. The friend filed a missing persons report, and eventually the police searched Kimball's home because at the time he was under another alias and another alias and another alias. He just kept changing his name. And at the time he was going, I think he was changing his name. So confusing. Oh shit, what's happening? Yeah, he was going by Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice.
So which is weird. I haven't heard of him. So then in a crawl space, officers found Jin's mummified remains under a large mound of cat litter, as we said. Suspected killer Bob Evans went by dozens of aliases during his life, including Curtis Kimball, Gordon Jensen, and Larry Vayner. Because of this, he was dubbed the Chameleon Killer. So, that's why, like, this the mystery of the Allenstown Four is the Bear Brook murders, or is it the story of the Chameleon Killer?
Which is way too cool of a name. Like, he doesn't deserve a name that cool.
It sounds like a Batman villain.
Yeah, I'm the Chameleon Killer.
Yes. In 2017, DNA matches finally revealed who he really was. Terry Rasmussen. Sounds like a fucking cold medicine.
It does.
He was born in 1945 in Denver, and after discharge from the Navy, lived in Arizona and California. It's crazy how many they're not. It's a fair amount. It's not too much, but a lot of serial killers join the Army or the Navy. Okay, so we have Dahmer. Dahmer did for a bit, and they all complained that he was fucking psycho. This guy did.
Berkowitz did.
Berkowitz did. Didn't BTK was a fucking Boy Scout. Fucking
yes, but I want to say Raider was in the military, or he at least applied for it. No, there's a bunch of people that were in the military because you assume that they just want to go kill.
Yeah. Makes sense. It is weird how many serial killers did were around some sort of military environment for a small, and usually they get kicked out, or Dahmer was always wasted as fuck, so they kicked him out, and it is a little strange. So it makes sense. I don't know, this kid when I was you ever went to school with one of those kids that was like part of the cadets, and he would like wear his uniform to school and stuff? Did you ever have one of those kids?
Very few.
Yeah, there was one kid, and he used to wear his like cadet uniform to like school, and he just looked like a fucking and it was like in grade 7 or 8. He looked like a psychopath, and he was in one of those special ed classes, and it just looked like he was ready to shoot it up the school. What was that guy's name? Brian Murray. Yes, I remember him. And his sister was named Bobby Joe Murray. Bobby Joe, and she was crazy as shit. My brother was friends with her when we were younger. She came from a very bad home, and when I was going to court when I was a kid, when I was just in and out of youth jail, just being an idiot, breaking my probation, getting stoned and drunk, and mom calling the cops on me for that sort of shenanigans. I saw her in front of the court, and I was like, "Oh, you remember me? Like you hung with my brother?" And then she's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, I beat an old lady with a baseball bat. And I was like, all right, I'm going to walk away.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude, there is no list of cause of death for him either. So you think I hope that he was just brutally murdered in prison.
Because he killed babies, it's quite possible that he was, right?
Of course.
So it is crazy. So he was in Denver, and they lived in Arizona and California. Terry or Terrence, he does look kind of like a Terrence. I could see it. I guess. Terry. Oh yeah, he's a Terry. Yeah, fucking.
Terry.
So he lived there with his wife and 4 children before they divorced around 1974. One of his sons from the marriage eventually provided the DNA samples that finally identified Terry as the Allenstown killer, which is always disturbing to find out that your father is technically a serial killer. Look at the BTK's daughter. It's like, man, like something was up with him, but he
not much
hit
you
it
can
very
do
well.
if it's your fucking parent, though, man. Like, there's really not a whole lot that you're going to be able to.
You ever seen that movie about the kid that like he was like, it's like a movie, but he was like the son of Charles Manson? He like goes around. I saw it years ago. He goes around and he's trying to figure out if his father's actually Charles Manson. I think it was a movie, not actually a documentary. It's just like a riff on it, but strange.
No, never seen that. So
New Hampshire Assistant Attorney General Jeffrey Stilson said that in 2009 in a news conference, we know what he was, we know what he did, and now we know who his victims were. And in 2019, the investigators identified 3 of the 4 bodies. Marilise Elizabeth Honeychurch.
Marlis.
Marlis? I guess
Marilys?
Marilys, yeah.
Yeah.
Marilys.
Honeychurch.
Yeah, Honeychurch is an interesting name, man. And the thing is, you know how they take old names from like Smith is like blacksmith.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. I'm like, Honeychurch. How the fuck do you get Honeychurch?
I know. They went to church covered in honey. I don't know. That's stupid. And her two biological daughters, Mary Elizabeth Vaughn and Sarah Lynn McWaters. Honeychurch and her daughters were last seen by her family around Thanksgiving in 1978 after she introduced them to a new boyfriend. And guess who her new boyfriend was?
The fucking piece of shit Bob Evans, who was
It
going
was
by
Terry.
Terry.
It was Terry. The fourth body, believed to be between 2 and 4 years old, is the biological daughter of Terry.
Yeah, he
But
fucking
more
killed his own
information-
kid. The dude's like, I'm so fucking happy this dude is dead, but I really
yes.
hope it was violent and horrible.
No, I know because, but the more information on her remains is unknown. But yes, that he killed his wife, according right, and he killed his own kids. These people are pure evil because it's
Technically, he's not only a serial killer, but he falls into family annihilator too, right?
100%. And those people, like, there's something wrong. It's almost like there's people that are inherently, I don't know, evil or just have something broken in their brain.
They're probably just violent by nature, incredibly selfish, and
Yeah.
sociopaths. Like that's just it's
Yeah, they're
and that-
psychopaths and sociopaths, and like something's broken in their brain, right?
Yeah.
And they want a family to keep this alias going of being a normal person, right? Because in their head, most times, unless they're like completely crazy, they know that they're crazy. It's kind of like a thin line where they know that they're not normal. Like Jeffrey Dahmer never thought he was.
Well, yeah,
normal.
but if you know that you're crazy, isn't that a sign that you're not insane? Like
Yes,
if you're aware
right?
of your delusions, then you're not.
You can't be classified as insane, right?
Right.
So, and then you have the idea where maybe he just snapped and it was like, well, I don't want this family anymore. I'm done with this charade that I'm doing and putting on. And then, he kills his kids and his wife.
Yeah, I think realistically, that's most likely it. Like, I mean, the dude got popped for child abandonment to begin with, so
Yes.
like maybe that was his motive or something, where he was just, I don't want to deal with that again, so I'm just gonna kill him and no one will find him. It's like that's what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's not a good idea. The New Hampshire DNA investigation went on to crack one of what New York Times called America's most notorious and vexing serial killer murder cases. 4 decades of investigative work around the brutal Golden State Killer in California had turned up no real leads until one of the investigators learned about the Allenstown case and how investigators use GED match to track connections. See, and the only reason, and I thought it wasn't the Golden State Killer caught because his DNA was on Ancestry.com or one of his daughters was. I'm pretty sure that's how they solved it. I could be wrong.
The evidence is, the girl that was abandoned in the trailer park went through a DNA test, and that's how they were like, oh no, you're this person, and then they connected the dots like that.
Well, no, but the Golden State Killer was his daughter. It was his daughter was on what I feel like she was on Ancestry.com, and then it led to the DNA being connected with the Golden State Killer. I'm pretty sure because that was decently recent. And I want to we will get into, I call them big time men, but I guess they're big time men and women, but we will be getting into the big time men serial killers like the Golden State Killer, because I find a lot of these cases are very fucked up and interesting. And we're kind of leading up to that. We're just kind of, we're around the fringes of that. We're just on the cusp of getting deep inside of dark, very large serial killer cases. And I've said, like, they've been done and stuff like that, but we do things a little different over at Strange Brew. And I know that there has been fans that have asked us to start, like, to get into big, like, I've asked people to do Ted Bundy, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do Ted Bundy. It's very overly done.
It's been done to death. Fuck Ted.
Yes.
I want to talk about Ted Bundy about as much as I want to review Friday the 13th.
Yes, and that's we might just cover maybe weird things connected to Ted Bundy, but it is been beaten like a dead horse. But there is people like Gacy. I've always, since the beginning of the podcast, always wanted to get into Gacy. We've talked about Dahmer and Ed Gein, and Richie, but there is certain people that I've always wanted to talk about, which is like John Wayne Gacy for sure is one of them, amongst many others. Charles Manson is definitely on the docket. Even that's been beaten like a dead horse, but I love Charles Manson. If I give him a hug in hell right now, I would, and I'd shake hands with him. He didn't kill anybody. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He didn't kill anybody. He was
never convicted of killing anybody. I'm willing to bet Charles Manson has killed a few people.
Maybe one person.
Maybe a couple.
I don't know, man. If he's in hell right now in jail, then guess who else is going there? Obama, Bush, Biden, Trudeau. They've all had their hands in killing people.
You're literally talking about war criminals. Yeah. I don't think Trudeau's not really a war criminal because Canada doesn't do war because they're all a bunch of pussies.
He molests high school kids. He's great. He's a great guy.
He's still going to hell. He's a piece of shit, but yeah.
Also connected to Jeffrey Epstein that nobody fucking talks about. He was on the flight logs and they were really good friends. They used to hang out all the time. Fucking Epstein showed him the ropes of how to traffic children. All right. Don't get me murdered, man. Don't get me murdered, all right? I'm not kidding.
You're going to get yourself murdered, you dumb fuck.
This guy's name is Paul Holes. Paul Holes is his name.
Paul Holes.
Paul Holes, an investigator with the Contra Costa County District Office. That's nice. Contra Costa Country District Office spent 12 years trying to track the Golden State serial murder before he learned about the Bear Brook murders. Holes, one of my favorite Shia LaBeouf movies, confirmed with Allenstown investigators that they used DNA collected from old crime scenes, creating a fake profile of genealogy website on a fake genealogy website. Yes, and then they upload the genetic data to identify relatives of the suspect. So they kind of use some sort of ancestry type website is what they actually used. And they kind of caught him in trappings. And it's kind of weird how interconnected these things are and how these things came together. Holes did say.
We're probably going to see a lot more cold cases get solved by people turning in DNA evidence.
It could happen
for ancestry stuff. I mean, you would think that it would happen. Like if the cold cases are still open and being used, then you would hope that it would happen.
Even though the cops already have my DNA because of my time in jail when I was a kid, I want to do ancestry or that 23andMe where you get to find like, what are you allergic to? Can you eat pork or can you not? Because I just want to figure out what was going on in my body. I just don't really want them to have my DNA. Even the cops already have it. I just don't. They're like, we're going to take your DNA. When I was a kid, just be like, so then we can X you out of crimes, essentially. So if something happened and they're like, oh, maybe it's this fucking Tom kid, then they can be like, oh, we have his DNA. It's not connected to the crime scene, so he's all good. That's why they took my DNA, is how they explained it.
That's the most bullshit law enforcement fucking excuse I've ever heard in my life.
I know. Well, we're just going to make sure you're not.
Well, because that sounds better than being like, we're going to make sure that you're, you're the guy we're thinking of for all these cases. It's like, what?
Yeah. So it is pretty interesting. Have you ever seen the guy on I hope it goes through to him eventually. This guy on TikTok, and he's watched Holes for like 50 days straight, and he was like, it went on and on and on and on, and he got like every video is like, this is day 23 of me watching Holes until Shia LaBeouf watches Holes with me. And he tried to get it. He had like thousands of followers, and he just kept every day. And now he's like on like, I think it's like, he's like, it's day 123 of me watching Holes until Shia LaBeouf watches Holes with me. And it's just him filming him watching the movie every day.
Fuck that.
I know, that guy's got some dedication, dude.
Fuck that.
But Shia LaBeouf is pretty obscure and stuff when he's an obscure, strange individual. So you think that he might go out of his way to do that. Look what he did with the bag over his head. You know what I mean? And people like to allow people to ridicule him to his face. And then they took off the bag and he was crying the whole time.
Yeah. All I know is that 4chan kicked his ass.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll send you a link for a video later, but let's get back to this so we can finish this up.
That's all I got. So if you got any facts that I didn't cover, we can just keep talking about
we pretty much went on all of them. But yeah, let's talk smack about Shia LaBeouf then. Yeah, okay. So
I love Shia LaBeouf, you piece of garbage.
Okay, so remember when did you follow the whole "He will not divide us" Trump debacle?
Yes, and he got all angry and screaming on protesting about Trump. Yes.
He made an art installation called "He Will Not Divide Us," which is this video camera that was doing all this shit, and he it's so hard to explain because there's like a. Have you ever heard of like the Internet Historian channel on YouTube?
No.
Okay. Look up the Internet Historian. He will not divide us. But basically, he put a flag out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, I remember that.
And then 4chan was like, okay, so I hear this noise in the distance. That's a train, so it's near a train track. Where's it likely going to be? It's over here. And they flew a drone and just put a bucket or put a MAGA hat on top of the flag.
Yeah, I remember that. He you know what? Trump is Trump, right? I do think he's better than Biden, 1,000%.
The president's a president. They're all fucking just war criminals as far as
there's a lot of people, and I talk to people in Canada that are like freedom fighters that are like for Trump. And a guy that sends me a bunch of stuff, and he's like, I think Trump's on point. And I'm like, you have your beliefs and stuff like that. I just think that they're all connected, and that they're the way they know how to control society. They know how to manipulate society.
I'm willing to bet Trump has controlled opposition.
Yeah, like easily,
almost 100%. I'm definitely thinking that it's just like, okay, we're aware that people are catching on to the shit that we're doing, so we need these false leaders for these people to follow, and then once those false leaders are, basically assassinated in the public eye, you have the whole just like, oh well, maybe we were wrong, and then it causes the the fervor to die down.
But who also knows, really, if he could be the good guy in the same way that Putin could be the good guy. Not saying he is. I'm saying that we don't fucking know. I'm not there. I'm not hanging out with them.
Bro, Biden and Trudeau could be the good guys for all we fucking know.
Oh, that's not true. Don't fucking say that. That's not true. People that freeze people's bank accounts and fuck 15-year-olds or 14-year-olds, whatever the age of the girl was, they're not
allegedly
good people. He paid them off. The family's living in your fucking neck of the woods now. So
they're in Buffalo?
No, that'd be funny. They're in the States somewhere. They got fucking pay them millions of dollars to fucking keep it hush hush. And the fact that he was on Jeffrey Epstein's flight log and connected with him.
Yeah, that's like so with the whole Epstein thing, I'm almost willing to just like forego anyone that's like, oh, they were never on the flight log, but they have a picture of them with Ghislaine or with Epstein or what have you. Because it's like, I'm willing to bet Epstein and Ghislaine were the kind of people that would just slither up behind somebody at a party and be like, say cheese, and be like, ha, I got blackmail, motherfucker. But if you're on the flight log,
like Bill Gates, I think Bill Gates was deeply connected to Epstein.
I'll even almost excuse if you were on the flight log once. Yeah. Because maybe you were in a bad situation, you had a campaigns thing you had to go to, and your jet wasn't there, and somebody just that you didn't know was like, hey, I got a private plane.
Well, no, it's weird, right? No, it's weird, right?
What?
How Disney had a cruise that stopped off at Little St. James Island.
Did it really?
Yes.
That's
100%.
fucked.
And they did scuba diving around there, and then all of a sudden it's like Johnny just didn't come back. Or little Susie. Fucking weird, man. Weird way to end this, but there's some weird shit and there's some weird holes. A fan
Stop hurting kids, you fucking pieces of shit.
Yes. Pizzas of shit.
Hot dogs of shit.
Pizzagate. So a fan actually asked us to do this episode. They said, you guys
damn you. No, thank you for listening, but holy shit, I didn't want to do this.
So like we said, you can email us. We get emails throughout the months and stuff like that, but go to you can email us at strangerootpodcast@gmail.com. You can
give the fan's
name? Buddy. That's all I know him as. What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? This episode's for you.
He's an American patriot that hates Trudeau and the regime as much as I do, even though he lives in the States.
Well, now we know why Tom picked this episode.
Yeah. So thanks to you for writing in and asking us. But the thing is, you can also message us at the Instagram, Strange Root Podcast. You can email us. There's definitely ways to connect with us and stuff like that. And if you have ideas, you can even post them on the Hoseheads page on Facebook. It's just kind of building up now. We did get our original group that had tons and tons of people on it X'd off. So it's still alive. It's still there. I'm not on Facebook as much as like Instagram and other platforms, but it's there. I hate Facebook. I don't
Facebook.
I know you don't. And I never used to, but I used it as a platform to promote the podcast. And we have our podcast page on there. And, there's a couple hundred people that are following it and, keep up with it. But on this, Facebook is Facebook and it's very censorship. I usually just post stuff about how much I hate the government on there and some funny memes. But the reason why our original Hoseheads group page got taken down was literally because of Jeffrey Dahmer memes from like 2 years ago, a year ago. Like Billy he's like, why are they getting me on this? It's the one where it's like, I've said this before, it's like, you can't tell Jeffrey Dahmer how many people to have for Thanksgiving.
I remember
And
that meme.
Billy got fucking like flagged, and he's like, this is from a year and a half ago. Why are they flagging me for this bullshit? And I'm like, they don't like serial killer memes now, I guess. It's fucking retarded. He's retarded. So that was interesting. We will be getting dark cases when it comes to this. We're going to be covering a lot more true crime going forward, and there'll be some big cases of aliens and UFO abductions. That's all coming down the pipeline. We have lots of ideas going forward, and there's going to be some big episodes, as I've said, coming up in the summer of stuff that we've already covered that have been X'd out because it wasn't up to my standards, as I've said. And it was when in the Justin era, you could say. And so we're going to cover a lot of go really deep into some stuff that we've slightly covered in the past that have been executed now. So
it's really big show.
Yes, it's going to be good. I'm really excited for a lot of the stuff that's coming up to talk about because we're going to revisit certain topics that at the beginning of the podcast were highly downloaded and stuff like that we decided to recover and get rid of those. And you will see some episodes on the Patreon and the Lost Tapes episodes. And they're still very hilarious and funny, but we said some shit maybe we shouldn't have, and we got a little too liquored up that we should have, but that's the way we were. I didn't know what this thing was going to be like when we started it. I was like, I want to get drunk and high and talk about serial killers and murder and paranormal and conspiracies. And I don't know if I said conspiracies twice, but yes, that was the plan. And now it's grown into something where we have a bunch of fans, all the host heads out there. We love you and we appreciate you, and you can support us by buying merch. And we got the new design out. So it's I got that on the way because I can't wait to rep that one. I think the new design's awesome. I got a poster of it already. So you can even get beer mugs. I'll be showing it on a couple of the streams. You can get literally like a beer glass, it's like a half pint. I didn't know if it's going to be a full or half pint, but it was a half pint glass, and you can get literally the logos on it. It's some really cool shit on the merch site. You can get like some of the weirdest stuff like socks, and there's even leggings that you can get of one of our designs if you're a chick out there.
Also, for all of you that are already rocking our merch, don't forget to tag us on all the socials.
Yes. Tag us up and everything like that. And we appreciate everybody out there. And you know what? The best way to support us is buy merch, support the Patreon, and also write a review. Even if you don't use, like I've said, Apple Podcasts or iTunes, those help pump up the numbers. It does really help the show. And we appreciate
Spotify. You can do reviews on Spotify now as well.
Yes.
So,
like, you can give us 5 stars. So do that. And I know that we got a lot of listeners on Spotify. So leave us 5 stars. And for the people that hate us, you hate us because you ain't us.
They hate us because they ain't us.
All right, motherfuckers. We're just having fun. If it's not for you, all you got to do is press stop.
We love y'all. You know where to find us on the socials. Instagram, HP Shovecraft.
And
Twitch,
just remember.
Twitch.tv _ God damn it. yeah. Invader Daggett _ TTV on Twitch.
Remember, right?
Everybody love everybody. Come on.
And stay strange, fuckers. Stay strange.
Stay strange.